Today we are going to identify a mineral. First off, what makes a mineral? A mineral is naturally occurring, inorganic, solid, there's a definite chemical composition, and a crystal structure. To identify what kind of mineral it is, you have to do a series of tests. These are color, luster, streak, hardness, breakage, density, fluorescence, acid smell, magnetism, and optical. First, we will perform the color test. This mineral is an opaque ivory. Luster refers to how light is reflected from the surface of a mineral. There are two types of luster, metallic, which looks like a metal, and non-metallic, which does not. This mineral appears to be non-metallic. Next is streak. To do this test, you need a piece of unglazed porcelain. Then you will scrape your mineral on the porcelain. As you can see, the streak of this mineral is white. Next is hardness. The hardness of a mineral is another characteristic that can really help identify a mineral. All you need is your fingernail, whose hardness is 2.5, a penny, whose hardness is 3.5, and a glass plate, whose hardness is 5.5. Scrape each material against the mineral to see which one, if any, scratch the mineral. So first we'll test to see if it is harder than 2.5, a fingernail. The mineral is not scratched by the fingernail, so we know that it is harder than 2.5. Next comes the penny. The penny does scratch the mineral, so we know that it is, in fact, softer than 3.5 but harder than 2.5. We do not need to test with the glass slide, as we already know it will scratch the mineral since it is harder than the penny, but we will anyways. And as expected, the glass slide also scratches the mineral. This mineral is harder than 2.5 but softer than 3.5. Next comes breakage. Minerals can break in two different ways. They can cleave or fracture. When a mineral cleaves or has cleavage, it splits along the natural grain and the pieces are often flat and even. However, when a mineral fractures, the break is irregular and has no pattern. This often results in rough and bumpy textures along break lines. This mineral does have cleavage since it broke with relatively smooth sides. Now we will calculate the mineral density. The density is the amount of material in a given volume and can be found using the formula mass over volume. For this test, you will need a graduated cylinder, a scale, and water. First, we find the mass using the scale. The mass of this mineral is 50 grams. Then we find the volume of the mineral by using a graduated cylinder filled partway with water. Using water displacement, we can see that the volume is 18 milliliters. Now all we need to do is divide mass by the volume to get the density, which is 2.8. Fluorescence is next. Fluorescence is how the mineral changes color in the presence of either short or long wave ultraviolet light, or UV. To do this test, you'll need a black light. This mineral changes a bright red under the black light, so it is fluorescent. Now we'll do the acid test. To do this test, we'll put hydrochloric acid onto a mineral to see if it reacts by fizzing. If it does, that means there is presence of carbon in the mineral. Let's get started. As you can see, the hydrochloric acid reacted with the mineral and fizzed, which means that this mineral contains some level of carbon. The smell test is pretty easy. Simply sniff the mineral to see if it gives off a distinct smell. Many minerals will not and will probably just smell like dirt, but some minerals like sulfur have a very distinct smell. This mineral has a slight sulfurous smell. Now is the magnetism test, to check if a mineral is magnetic. To test this, simply take a strong magnet to see if the mineral is attracted to it. Ours is not, therefore it is not magnetic. Lastly, the optical test is performed to see if, when looking through the mineral, double refraction or seeing double occurs. Since you can't see through this mineral, there is no double refraction. Now that we performed all the tests, we can conclude that this mineral is gypsum. We hope this video helps you understand the different ways to test a mineral's many properties. Thanks for watching!